We operate under the comforting assumption that our daily choices, from what we buy to how we react, are the result of deliberate, self-directed thought. But consider a scenario where someone establishes a firm boundary, saying a clear and final no to a major request. Yet moments later, they find themselves complying with the very thing they just rejected. The facts of the situation remained the same. The change came from a single, calculated phrase, "You don't love me." By repeating this, the manipulator bypasses the target's logic and applies direct psychological pressure, replacing a boundary with guilt. These tactics aren't exclusive to high-stakes drama. Most people are subjected to an invisible architecture of control every day, often without realizing their environment has been engineered to produce a specific result. Recognizing this ladder of manipulation, the way control scales from retail stores to our personal lives, is the only way to see where your choices end and someone else's agenda begins. The first level of the ladder is the illusion of choice. In this flowchart, the no path has been removed entirely. The target is presented with two options, but both lead to the same predetermined outcome. If you need a friend to go to the market with you, asking for a favor directly invites a no. But asking, "Should we get momos or fulki while we're there?" shifts the brain's focus. They become so occupied comparing the two rewards that they stop questioning the premise of the trip itself. Retailers apply this same logic when a salesperson asks if you prefer a shirt in green or black. By focusing your attention on a color preference, they've already moved you past the decision of whether or not to make a purchase. This scales into corporate marketing with buy two, get one free offers. The consumer feels they are outsmarting the system, while the company guarantees a higher volume of sales for items the customer may not have even needed. This framing allows a target to walk away believing they exercised total free will, while they were actually following a path laid out for them from the start. As manipulation becomes more active, it relies on cognitive anchoring. On this scale, the first 1,000-pound weight sets an extreme baseline. When it's followed by a 100-pound weight, that second weight appears insignificant. This is the door-in-the-face technique. If you need 100 rupees, you first ask for 1,000. After the inevitable rejection, the 100-rupee request feels like a small, reasonable compromise, making it much harder for the other person to say no a second time. High-level manipulators often skip these logical traps and go straight for the ego. This is the reverse trap. Instead of asking for help, they might describe a task and then casually remark, "Actually, it's probably too difficult for you to handle." This baits the target into a defensive state. Their immediate need to prove their competence overrides their desire to avoid the work, leading them to complete the task just to win a point of pride. Interpersonal manipulation is effective because it disguises an external command as the victim's own emotional reflex. The highest level of control can be achieved without saying a word. Think of the difference between a parent yelling and a parent who simply offers a cold, unblinking stare. That silence creates an internal vacuum. Your brain panics to fill the quiet, often leading you to over-explain or negotiate against yourself to relieve the mounting tension. This internal panic is the beginning of an emotional hijack. As the amygdala, this red core, expands, it physically disrupts the connections to the frontal lobe, where our logical reasoning is processed. This biological bypass is what allows manipulation to scale from a single room to an entire nation. Where an individual might use silence to trigger panic, a demagogue uses existential threats, telling a crowd that their identity or safety is under attack. Once that fear or rage is triggered, the logical brain effectively loses control. The target stops evaluating the truth of a statement and begins reacting purely to the emotional stimulus provided. At this stage, the manipulator is no longer trying to win an argument. They are waiting for the target's critical thinking to go offline so they can provide the only remaining path forward. We have traced the progression from simple retail nudges to the total bypass of logic through emotional hijacking. These patterns provide a clear advantage to anyone who knows how to exploit the way our brains are wired to react. You cannot prevent someone from attempting these tactics, but understanding the mechanics of the trap is often enough to neutralize it. Whenever you face a choice that feels too perfectly framed, or you feel a sudden, unexplainable surge of rage, recognize it as a signal. Stop and look for the option that wasn't presented to you. Free will is not about following every instinct you have. It is about identifying the strings being pulled and choosing not to move.